Hey Scott, have you any plans for the weekend? Asked Julian. Yes, me and June actually have rented a small cabin outside town for a whole weekend, so yeah, why do you ask? Well, I don't have any particular plans myself, so I thought maybe you and I could do something this weekend, but since you have only planned and I don't want to ruin it for you, and since you want to spend time in June, so go for it. Yeah, sorry man, maybe next weekend. Yeah, we can probably do something then. After that, Julian saw his friend left the room. Julian and Scott have been best friends since they were young, and now they're attending the same college together and even roommates. The next day, it was a Friday, and it was only a half day of classes, so early in the afternoon, Julian said goodbye to his friend when he drove off with June for to spend the weekend together. After Scott had left, Julian walked around by himself, and since he had no plans for the weekend, he thought that he just will be watching movies and play games. And as he was just walking around, he was approached by two guys, someone that he recognized. They weren't like friends, but more like acquaintances, Leo and Charles. They were also known as the troublemakers of the school. Hey, Julian, said Leo. Hi, Leo. Charles, what's up? Nothing much. Just walking around, chilling, as always, said Charles. So, where's Scott? He actually left town with June. They, want going to spend the weekend together. Alright, do you have any plans for the weekend, by the way? Asked Charles. No, I don't actually. Great! How about you join us for a matchmaking party tomorrow? Wait, what? Yeah, we actually had one guy too that eventually couldn't go, so we need one more guy. Can you do it? Can you do it? Asked Cleo. I I don't know. Come on, man. It's just one matchmaking party. What was the harm of that? Just drinking, talk to some girls. I mean, you don't even have a girlfriend, do you? Uh, no, I don't. Great, it's settled then. But, that's great. We'll see you at the bar tomorrow, 7 p.m. You know where to go? There's a one nearby the college. What? Great. We'll see you then. And I just walked off. Julian was really taken aback. Despite how many times he was had tried to say no, they wouldn't even take an answer for a no at all. But if Scott had been with him, he likely would have made sure that they would back off. But despite that, Julian, he really didn't want to spend time with these guys. Since they were known as the troublemakers, sometimes they usually make others to make their homework, and that is what they are known for. They were pretty scary, so that no one even had tried to stand up to them. Well, Scott is one of the few people that actually managed to make them back off. He wasn't a scary looking guy or anything, he was just firmly no. And if Julian said no, it was more like a quiet no. If he was more firmly by himself, then maybe they would back off. And since Charles was actually right, Julian didn't have a girlfriend since senior year of high school. He would try to figure out a way to that he couldn't just go to this matchmaking party. But despite how many times he figured out a way to make an excuse, it wouldn't work. So by the next day, around 7 p.m., he actually walked to the bar. As he walked in, he looked around and he immediately saw Leo and Charles. Julian, over here, said Charles, and waving his hand. Then he took a big sigh and walked up to them. It's like with a smile. Leo, Charles, great, you can actually come over here. Sit down. Let me introduce to some of the girls. All of them are actually going to the same college as us. Yeah, I recognize them. And they have made their introductions. And they start drinking and talking, and as always, both Leo and Charles talked about themselves, and while Julian did the same, but during the party, Leo's like, "Oh yeah, this guy you didn't had a girlfriend since high school, so he's probably much a loner. Hey, I'm not much a loner. Oh yeah, you spend much time yourself or your best friend Scott. How about that? Well, Scott and I have been friends for a long time." "Oh really?" said one of the girls. Her name was Brianna. Yeah, we actually have been best friends since like elementary, and he's more like a brother also." "Oh, that's great, isn't it?" "Yeah, that is," said one of the girls. And so the party was going on quite well. They were doing some drinking and some food and a lot of talking. After about almost 2 hours, the party was over. Leo and Charles seems to having some luck with some of the two girls, but Julian not with much at all. He just sat there and listened to mostly what Leo and Charles talked about. After he had left the bar and was walking back to the college, he was hearing a voice behind him. "Hey, wait!" He turned around and saw it was Brianna. "Oh, Brianna, hi. Are you going back?" Yeah. Can I go with you?" "Sure. I'm on my way back to college as well, so sure, why not?" "I saw that you didn't talk much during the matchmaking party. I assuming that you didn't want to go?" "Not originally, no." "Why not?" They they kind of made me go to this matchmaking party, even though I didn't want to go originally. Despite how many times I said no, but they didn't listen. What kind of friends doesn't even listen to their friend? Well, they're not my directly friends, more like acquaintance, actually. "Oh, yeah, since they have this reputation of being troublemakers at the college." "Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, making others to make their homework and all that stuff, and even sometimes begging them for money, like borrow money but never repay them back." "Yeah, I heard about that too. That's just crazy. I'm surprised that the school haven't done anything about this. Not making other students they're doing their homework, borrowing money without paying them back. And though I had never heard of them being violent towards any others, have you?" "No, and I really doubt that they are that type of person that would do anything like that. You know, I think that they just have an act of being tough, scary guys, but without doing anything actual harm. Though I have heard some stories or more rumors about some teachers actually approach them to telling them to just back off and quit being such troublemakers. Well, that and some other things, and I don't even know if that's true or not. Which, like I said, it's just rumors." Brianna agreed. Soon they arrived at her room, and she thanked him for walking her back in safety, and they said good night. But the next day, around early noon, Scott had returned back to his own room. "Hey, Scott, how was your weekend?" "It was great, just relaxing and all that. So, what you have been doing the whole weekend? You know, other than just play games, watching movies?" "Actually, no. I was planning to do that, but, well, I wasn't able to do anything like that." "Oh? What happened?" he said while unpacking his stuff. "Well, I went to this matchmaking party with Leo and Charles and whoa, 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 back up. Matchmaking party? You? To a bar? With those guys?" "Yeah." "Did you say no?" "Obviously. Multiple times." "Well, they didn't listen, didn't they?" "No. Not at all." "Good figures, those guys. Can't say it, take a simple no for an answer." "Well, at least one good thing came out of it." "Oh? Well, you know Brianna, right? Yeah, I know about her. Why? Well, she was actually one of the three girls was there. Oh, I see. You talked to her? Yeah, I actually when we walked back to college together. I know, I mean, I made sure that she came back safely. Good guy, you're a good guy. So, anything else? No, not really. Just talked to her a little bit, went back to her room, play games, sleep. Now, today I just wanted to relax. Well, I something here. Rest of that week, things just went back as normal. On a Friday, it happened again. Julian just by himself outside the school building or dorm building when Leo and Charles walked up to him. Hey, Julian, do you have a minute? Yeah, what's up? What can I do for you? Well, we were planning having a matchmaking party this weekend again. Do you okay to join us for it? I'm afraid I have other plans to do. Come on, you can just put those plans aside, said Charles with a big grin. I said no, guys. Come on, just one more try. I'm afraid. Great! See you then. Same time, same bar. And I just walked off laughing. He tried to be friendly, but they didn't even listen. He thought that he just could ignore and not going to this bar. But he did anyways. Even though despite he didn't even want to go, and he didn't even tell Scott, because at the time, or at that same time, Scott was actually out with June on a date. And even if he could just text Scott about this, Scott probably just would show up. He would like to show up and just tell off Leo and Charles to leave his friend alone. Not to bother him with this. But he went to the bar anyways. And when he showed up, Julian, over here, said Leo, waving his hand. Julian took a big breath and smiled and walked over and sat down. This time it was three girls, but only one that he recognized. Brianna. Brianna and two other girls that he were familiar with, but had some classes with. And afterwards, Brianna walked up to Julian and asked if he could walk her back to the college again. What a coincidence that you will end up at the same party again. Yeah. And how come you were there? Well, those two were a close friend of mine, and they begged and begged me to come along with them since they knew that I went last time. And, you know, you tried to say no, but they told me that if I wouldn't want to go, I wouldn't have to. They were trying to find someone else. I was like their backup plan. Yeah, in a sense, yeah. What about you? Well, same thing as last time. But this time I tried to say no firmly, but didn't even take the hint. Wow, that must sucks. Tell me about it. And then they just walked back to the college. And when Julian went in a room, Scott was there. Oh, you were out? Yeah, I actually were. Where have you been? The bar? Dude, you went to the bar alone? Not exactly this time either. Then Scott rolled his eyes like, let me guess, those troublemakers? Yep, that's the same. I really had to talk to them. Please don't. I just don't want to cause any problems for you or me. This is my problem, and yeah. So, as the same as the next weekend came, as he was expecting, Charles and Leo walked up to him again. This time he just had left the school library Hey, Leo, Julian. Hey, Leo, Charles, what's up? You're back to your room? Yeah. By the way, do you have any plans this weekend? Yeah, actually, I am. Can you make this plan at a time? Sorry, but as you both know, we have an exam soon, and I want to study for it. Come on! Just one night of drinking wouldn't even harm anything. Do you know, guys, this is a really big exam. So I'm sorry, but I can't. I mean, come on. One didn't hurt. Listen, guys, I'm not interested, he said a bit firmly. Whoa, what about that attitude? We just want to help you to find a girlfriend, dude. Listen, I'm sorry, but I can't. Just please, listen. Just come, please. No. Well, can you just come this last time? Fine, but this will be the last time I go. Great! But then he actually was going to. But as he was on the way, he just walked across the road. And then it all went complete black for him. Next, when he woke up, he was in the hospital. He had no idea what just happened. Because when he looked aside, he saw that his best friend Scott was standing there with June. Oh, thank goodness you're okay, Julian. What happened? You don't even remember? No, what happened? You hit by a car. What? Yeah, a drunk driver just bad, you know, a drunk driver just bad speed driving right in the red light. What? Yeah, likely you were survived, but just you were unconscious and, well, except for your broken leg. What? Broken leg? And Julian noticed his left leg was broken in a cast. Ah, what a bad luck, he said as a joke. At least I'm alive. What about the party? About that, you see, they actually heard this commotion, and both Leo and Charles walked outside with the girls, and they were horrified, all of them. They called for an ambulance, and did he get the driver? Oh yeah, get this. He was so drunk that he literally drove into a light pole, and the impact, he was knocked out unconscious. Wow. Yeah. I'm so tired. Well, understanding that you have been out for almost the entire day. What? What time is it? It's about 4 p.m. actually. What? Uh, can you please tell my parents that I'm okay? Sure thing, I can tell them. And by the way, there is someone else here who wants to see you. Oh, who? You will see when this person walks in, said June with a smile. After that, both June and Scott left. And soon, another person walked in. And it was actually Brianna. But Brianna? What are you doing here? I didn't expect to see you. Oh, Julian, you're okay. Well, I was actually at this matchmaking party, and when I saw you on the ground like that, I was scared. Well, it's outstanding how just see someone like that you on the ground. No, it's not only that. Then what is it? You see, I actually have been in love with you for a while now. Wait, what? You Yeah, and I had to confess. You see, I was the one who actually set up these matchmaking parties in the first place. What? You? And not Leo and Charles? No. You see, I told Leo and Charles, since I know they are really outgoing guys and they they had done matchmaking parties in the past, so I asked them if they could help me set up a matchmaking party, but only as in, like, to invite you. They were into this idea and asked the reason. So I told them that I like you very much, but I was too shy to even to tell you directly, and I was hoping that you would come to this party, to this matchmaking party. But even though I heard from that same day when you said that you didn't even want to go, I was heartbroken. But when I saw you both times, I was happy. I was planning to confess my feelings after the matchmaking party, like the two times before that you walked me back. I was about to do it. I was planning to confess my feelings to you then. But as we were waiting for you, when we heard this commotion outside, when I saw you on the ground, I my heart broke in pieces. I didn't know what to do. I thought you were dead or something. I couldn't even process all that. But I was told that you were alive and that you were taken here, but you didn't even wake up. So I thought I'd lost you. Julian was sitting there in his bed, completely silent. So you're saying you have been in love with me the whole time? Yes, I have. Wow. I mean, I I had no idea. But I'm sorry. It it's okay. I I get it. I know that you don't like me the same way. Sorry if I bother you, but before you could say anything else, she just left the room and just left. The next day, Julian was allowed to leave the hospital and return back to college. He was only had a broken leg, so he was just walking, moving around in crutches. So, Julian, you're back, said Scott with a big smile. Yeah, did something happen? Scott could notice that something was off with his best friend, because when he was lying in his own bed in college, he doesn't look his usual cheerful self. Tell me, what was the matter? I don't know what to say. Ah, she really confessed to you, didn't she? Wait, you knew? Well, not the whole time. I was, actually was informed if just shortly before all this accident happened. So tell me, what happened? Did you tell her how you felt? No, I didn't. Say what? Said Scott almost loudly. Why not? I mean, I don't even know if I like her the same way. Wait, really? Scott said, and as he sat down on his own bed in shock. All this time, I thought you liked her because you brought her back to college. It doesn't have to mean that I like her. You know, I did that to be as kind and also just to make sure she came back here safe. But you like her, don't you? I don't know what to say, actually. I don't even know my own feelings. I'm still confused about this. I don't even know if she actually was serious about this. I think she's just joking. Listen to me, he said Scott angrily. Whoa, she loves you. When she told me in June about this, and she even told me about what Leo and Charles did in order to set you both up, you can never tell me. You have no idea how much effort she put into this, and how much she took when she saw you on the ground. Yes, I know. No, you don't. Listen, Brianna has loved you since high school. What? Yeah. She was one to going to ask you out in your senior year. But since you were already in a relationship with someone else, and since that relationship fell apart just before we finished high school, she wanted to tell you. But she never had the chance. Because you went to college along with myself. And I, you need to talk to her right now. I don't even know I can. Julian, yeah? You need to talk to her. I don't give me that, said Scott angrily. Why are you so angry? I am angry that my own best friend can't see the side of someone in so passionate love with you. What's wrong with you? I need time to process all this. Understandable. But you need to tell her. Why? You may not heard this, but I heard it was another guy at this school who actually recently confessed his feelings for her. And he gave her a week for her to get her answer. Wait, what? Seriously? Yeah, you really need to talk to her. So just go. Alright. Uh, can you at least give me one hand here? At least get me up from my bed. Oh, right, sorry. Then he went off. He knocked on the door where Brianna was staying with her roommate. Her roommate opened, but Brianna wasn't even there. Do you know where I can find her? Um, I think that she went to the library. I'm not sure, but probably there. Thanks. Then he went there. Sure enough, she was actually sitting outside at the stairs outside the building. Brianna, there you are. Julian? Why are you here? I actually came to find you. Oh, may I sit down? Yeah. Scott told me about the whole plan that he knew for a while that you were in love with me. I had no idea. Yeah. And then he told me there was another guy who told you about his feelings. Is that true? Yeah, it is. And I had to give his answer today. It has been a week already. That was why I wanted to tell you. I see. Well, Brianna. Yeah? Do you still want to be with me though? Of course I do. I love you. I I love you too. Wait, really? Yeah, it came to me right now that I really do. At that moment, they gave each other a kiss. And later same day, Brianna actually approached the guy who asked her she said no, and in fact, she has a boyfriend now. The guy was a little bit upset, but he understood. He didn't want to cause any problem for her. Scott, June, and Brianna's roommate all were so happy for both of them. And the rest of the college years went normal. They went on many dates and actually even got engaged in the senior year of college. Shortly afterwards, after they finished college, they had a small wedding just for their close friends and family. About 2 years later, they actually even had a daughter which they named Brooke. At the time, Julian was working at this music store, and Brianna was working at a grocery store. They were living a happy life. But then, 2 years later, they had a son, which they named Jason. Julian could never even imagine that one of his old classmates from high school actually had been in love with him all this time. And how much the troublemakers, Leo and Charles, how much effort they put to help Brianna so that she could eventually confess her feelings for Julian. He actually approached them once and thanked them, and they said sorry if they had to do this. But he told them it was okay. Even though his own feelings for Brianna at the time was still very recent and became a full aware of. But it took him a bit of while until he was fully in love with her, and he is happy to be with her. Even so is Brianna. And this is how Julian and Brianna found their true love, got a big family together. The end.